Good evening, YouTube. What the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, coming back to you on Schwarzhofen, where we've got the High Elves, and boy, have they brought some Sea Guard. And they're going up against the Wood Elves, and they've also got a bunch of Illyrian Reavers forward deployed, so that's pretty cool. We've got some White Lions. I think that's a pretty good, solid choice against the Wood Elves there. Decent armor. They do some armor piercing of their own if needed. They should be a tough unit for the Wood Elves to deal with. So, like that pick. And then Lothern Sea Guard with shields, again, also like this pick because they outrange the Wood Elf archers. And they have a spear. Holy crap, man. These guys got some freaking sweet looking shields. I don't know if I ever noticed that before. Dang, they look good. Sea Guard, Lothern Sea Guard is definitely still one of my favorite units in the game. Ooh, let's check it out here. So we got some Way Watchers. And then some Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts. But they are going to be up against some pretty tough odds here. None of them have shields or the type of armor that the Sea Guard do. And the Way Watchers are actually sitting in range of the Sea Guard, which is a massive mistake because the Way Watchers actually outrange the Sea Guard. Not by a lot, but they do outrange them. And you can see this is the last thing you want. No shield, no armor. This unit is not meant for this type of fight. Way Watchers are not meant to trade with other skirmishers. They're meant to stay back at range and dish massive damage to key units. So, you see that the High Elves here exercising a massive advantage in range. This is going to bring the Eternal Guard in. And Tyrion is getting absolutely cut down by Way Watchers, though. Oh, that pendulum. Holy mackerel. So that Branch Wraith dropped a nice pendulum there. And it did quite a bit of damage to the High Elves main line, which is really going to help out in the infantry fight. With the Illyrian Reavers, tons of them getting into the Way Watchers. So the Way Watchers are toast. But here comes a Wild Rider from the other side. And then Tyrion's ring into the Wildwood Rangers, which was a fantastic choice because they have almost no armor. And so, wow, this one is just swinging back and forth here. So the Wood Elves pick up an advantage, but then here comes the Illyrian Reavers. They're going to put a little charge here. They're not crazy strong, but these Wild Riders, these guys have some pretty serious attack. And I wouldn't think that Illyrian Reavers are going to be fantastic, really, against the Wild Riders, just because these guys have way more melee attack. A little bit better charge. No, the charge bonus way better on the Wild Riders. Wild Riders are still a really awesome light cavalry. They are the best light cavalry in the game. They're not cheap, but when it comes to the stats, man, those guys pack a beating for a light cavalry unit. So the regrouped Wood Elven archers here, getting a lot of pain in, and then the Wild Riders chasing off this ball of Reavers. They're just kind of giving up the ghost, but there's still quite a bit of fight left in the Wood Elves over here. The Glade Lord has landed her eagle on these Lothern Sea Guard, but that's definitely not where she wants to be in life. Some of the Lothern Sea Guard and other units coming back. Tyrion is still alive, managing to tank, which, again, is what Tyrion does. These Wild Riders have cleaned up a fair number of kills. And there's the Azrae Spear running around. Reavers still taking shots from regrouped Way Watchers. And it looks like these Wild Riders have a lot of targets to try and clean up out here. The Glady needs to just stay away, stay alive, kind of thing. Let her infantry tank out as much of the High Elves as possible. Branch Wraith could potentially help. If he could get another pendulum or something, maybe right through here, or like right across these guys, maybe do some damage. See, Branch Wraith is doing pretty good in this fight, though. I mean, he's going to be able to tank it for a little bit. The Wildwood Rangers regroup. That's going to be a huge help. And then the Glade Lord's going to finish off these Lothern Sea Guard. The Wild Riders actually finally get annihilated, but not until they've picked up 108 or 9 kills and a Chevron plus. So they ended up doing some pretty solid damage in the end. These Azrae Spear and Eternal Guards duking it out here, and then the Wildwood Rangers coming in. But this is bad right here. These Lothern Sea Guard are just sitting here on the flank, just picking off Wood Elves as they fight, and then these other ones have regrouped. I don't think it's looking good for the Wood Elves here. Not really sure how they dig themselves out of this one. But we'll see. We'll see. Ooh, that Prey of Anathrema followed up by the arrows of Kurnos. So close to dying. Let's see if the Glady's got another arrow to finish him off there. He's down to 33. Tyrion's still alive. Will it matter, though, if Tyrion dies? There's starting to be fewer and fewer Wood Elves left on the battlefield. I mean, really, it's pretty much just the Glady, yeah, and so all of a sudden the power bar just dips against him. So even though Tyrion's dead, there's just no infantry left. And there's still all these archers and units with spears and cavalry. So definitely a heck of a fight from the Wood Elves there, from what I thought initially was just going to be a mass slaughter. But it did turn into a pretty good fight there. I think that the Wood Elves got a little too hasty bringing their archers that close to that line of Sea Guard. They should have just gone ahead and pushed up with the Eternal Guard and the Azrae Spear and done their best to tie down the lines. Really keep your Way Watchers back and let them work from a distance. But then the problem is if they keep them back, all these Illyrian Reavers, so many Reavers. So all that cavalry ended up being a great pick for the High Elves because it was just probably too much for the Wood Elves to handle. Too difficult to keep them from being trounced by all the cavalry. And the Glady did eventually get Tyrion, but just too many High Elves left. Still about 400 of them left. Branch Wraith. Nice fight, nice pendulum. Good times, but not going to do it. So, fun fight there. Appreciate Luke the Duke and Koinmaru here for the fun fight. Going elf against elf here. 5 Illyrian Reavers. Man, that's a ton of light cavalry. You look at it and you add it up, though. See, it was about 80-something, 110. Yeah, they ended up getting... It took like 5 units of Illyrian Reavers, but they did get more kills than the Wild Riders. These White Lions, I mean, that's... I guess Eternal Guard are probably about as good a unit as any as you're going to have to try and match the White Lions, because Wildwood Rangers are so much more expensive, and they can get shot up a lot easier, whereas Eternal Guards have shields, and they also have a little bit of anti-armor. Yeah, I mean, they're meant to go against large units, but still, I think they're probably the most cost-effective trade you're going to come up with against the White Lions. Could be wrong, but that's just my thought there. I had this last one that's called Kiting Vampires, and I wanted to see this because the vampire player tells me, yeah, okay, they don't have skirmishers, but doesn't mean you can't come up with a creative army, and it's like, all right, I'd like to see this. So let's see what the vampires try and do. I mean, he's got a very different vampire army here. He's got Manfred on his Hellsteed, a couple of fell bats on either flank, and then he's got the Devils of Schwarzhofen and a Vargeist in the center, a black coach, and then some Crypt Ghouls spread out, and then a Vampire Lord of Shadows in the back. Interesting because you have 2 spellcasters here. Let's see what Manfred's focus really is. So Manfred is going to have Master of the Black Arts, Raise the Dead, Invocation, and then his life leeching and stuff there. So not a lot of spells on Manfred. I'm assuming we got a Pit of Shades. Yep. So you might use the black coach to try and create an opportunity for the Pit of Shades. We got Volkmar over here, Swordsmen, Sons of Sigmar, Great Swords, backline of Free Company Militia, some more Great Swords and Spears on the flank, Knights of the Blazing Sun out on the other flank. So the Empire, both flanks actually. So the Empire using similar type stuff to what I would have done. So Mystifying Miasma, yeah, it'll do a little bit. Probably not a terrible plan. Black Coach does need to be careful. It doesn't have great armor, and there's a lot of Free Company Militia back here. And Sterling's Revenge actually has armor piercing. Devils of Schwarzhofen going for the cavalry, and the Empire player, of course, can't countercharge because it's an aerial unit. And it looks like the Black Coach moving in, trying to just get things started. And that charge from the Vargeist did a ton of damage, but those armored cavalry are going to withstand it. Oh, here's a huge blob. Pit of Shades? No? No, it's just going to be Flaming Sword of Ruin. That is a beautiful spot for a Pit of Shades, though, if the magic happened there. So the coach takes a beating. Oh, yeah, here it comes. Do it. Pit of Shades? Do it. No, just another miasma. So trying to work these guys down and find the right engagement. Does the Black Coach not regenerate? It doesn't. Not without a Master Necromancer, I guess. So the Vampires take an early engagement that's not great for him. I'm surprised we didn't... He didn't want to go all in, though, too early, I'm guessing.
We are immortal.
Oh, there it is, the Pit of Shades. Later than I thought it would be, but it finally came. It would have done more damage if he would have dropped it when all those units were blobbed up. Cavalry, everything all in there at once, but it's still going to do some pretty decent damage to these Free Company militia. Black Coach comes back in for round 2. Looks like it's trying to get its special abilities activated. It's got black sides ready to go. Looks like the miasma again. So the Vampire's just kind of slowly working down some of the Empire units, being very patient here with the Varix Reavers and the Dire Pack. Looks like they're just backing off of Sterlin's Revenge. Slowly moving their infantry forward. Vampire Lord of Shadows taking some shots. I mean, these guys aren't running out of ammo anytime soon. They have a lot of ammo. But it looks like the Vampire's trying to kite a little bit of that ammo out of them. And then just play patiently, it looks like, with the rest of these units. So maybe trying to get the Empire to separate a little and to chase after him, stuff like that. Volkmar can't do anything, of course, right now. I mean, he could come out here and go after the Crypt Ghouls, but then he'd probably get run down by a bunch of stuff. So yeah, he's definitely just trying to buy ammo off of these guys right now. See, now you can see the Empire players wanting to engage. The Vampire player is definitely trying to pull their formation apart. So let's see what happens. Manfred and the Vampirus, I guess, here. Oh, look here, we got a Knights of the Blazing Sun that decided to take the bait and single itself out. It's going to get swarmed by Fellbats. I'm assuming the Crypt Ghouls will come in there too. And then the Vampire's coming over too. She might try and use a miasma here. Yep. Doesn't take a lot of magic. So the Empire kind of fell for it over here. I don't think these Knights of the Blazing Sun are going to die crazy fast though, because nothing here has armor piercing. Not even the Vampire. But they might be able to break the leadership. And this is nice here. You want this. Come intercept these Spearmen. And you can see now the main Empire line's pushing here while he's falling back and trying to single out this flank. So the Empire player just needs to keep his formation together, and there's really nothing the Vampire player could effectively do, I don't think. So let's see what happens. Yeah, the Crypt Ghouls should tear up these Spearmen pretty bad, and then it looks like the Knights of the Blazing Sun will get finished off. Fairly minimal damage. Varix Reavers, and there is a greatsword back here. This is actually looking like a nice target of opportunity here now too. Kind of hit it from all sides. Hit it with the Reavers, get a massive charge in, bring in the Vargeist. Yeah, he's got that greatsword singled out now too. So Knights of the Blazing Sun's going to get unceremoniously escorted off the battlefield by a mere Fellbat. That hurts. The other Knights of the Blazing Sun comes in, but it is not doing much better. So the Empire has committed a lot of resources to this fight, and it's not going well. Varix Reavers somehow not landing a great charge on the great swords. I'm a little bit surprised there. Great charge, great swords, no pun intended. Woo, Flaming Head coming through here. It did a little bit of damage to the Vampires, but it also damaged the Empire units that were down there. And now the Bright Wizard gets himself singled out too, so the Empire's committing piecemeal here. Fellbats for distraction back here, and now the Crypt Ghoul is going to come in, so that's actually a really nice play on the part of the... I mean, the Empire player is just kind of getting frustrated here, and it's costing him. Look at the zombies here, intercepting Sigmar's sons. I mean, the Vampire player has played this patiently, and it is paying off. These Reavers are just not getting good charges here on the Great Swords. And that's crazy, because they have a huge charge bonus. It's something about the mechanic there, it's just not landing right. So these Dire Pack can now get back over here. All the Knights of the Blazing Sun are gone. Looks like Manfred's going to try and get the Bright Wizard all the way off the battlefield. It's going to get stuck in some spears actually there along the way. Black Coach is still alive. It's got a couple more of its, or it's got one more of its abilities fired up. So it'll start causing more and more damage now over time. Plus it causes terror. And that's going to be a big deal as the fight starts to wear on. Volkmar is going to be a tough customer, but oh, that Pit of Shades. That's what I'm talking about in terms of Pit of Shade. It's not as good as using it against the Dawei because the mass isn't as high here, but it's still going to be good. Still going to do some good damage. Yeah, that Bright Wizard's toast. And then the Dire Pack here. I'm not sure how the Dire Pack will do against the Free Company. They're really an anti-large unit. Free Company are pretty tough customers in melee for a skirmish unit, but then the Empire player just throws in the towel. I guess it is over. Yeah, because you still have the Reavers back here working these guys over, so I guess it was over. I think the Empire player quit a little bit early, because Volkmar was still going to be relatively tough to kill, but I guess there were so many units left that he was going to be able to pull it off. So that was a different vampire army. What do you all think about that that army from Aristonio here? Wilso, fun game, man. Thanks for playing. Keep that army together, and I don't think there's anything that this vampire player could have done about it, because all these Free Company militia, again, that would have been tough for him to kill. Same thing with the Knights of the Blazing Sun. Keep him around the support of the infantry, and I really don't know that there's anything that the vampire player could have done. So I think if you run into this situation where the vampire player is trying to trying to kite you, and you might think, well, that's crazy. They don't have skirmishers. Well, he brought Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma, and he also had Pit of Shades, so that's kind of his skirmishing element of this army, right? And he's just trying to annoy you and break you up. But when you think about it, there's only so much Winds of Magic. Would it be enough? I don't know. Something you have to think about. You know, are you still better off to stick together and let him do some of the damage he can do, but prevent him from being able to play that army that way? So, curious to hear you guys' thoughts. Hope you all enjoyed the battles tonight. I appreciate them being sent in. If you want to subscribe to see more, please do. Make sure you click the bell too when you subscribe, because again, YouTube thinks that it's smart to have subscribe not mean subscribe. So yeah, click the little bell next to the subscribe button if you want to get notifications about the new videos. Or if you don't want notifications, I guess don't click the bell. But in any case, hope you all enjoyed it. Hope to see you back soon. I will have more videos coming up. HeirofCarthage out for now.